So ever since Tate burst onto the scene, we've been hearing a lot about, escape the matrix. It actually became like a mainstream thing. A lot of people who hate him obviously have been making a lot of fun of like, oh, escape the matrix and everything. But like, it was a good message. And before Tate was here, we had all the self-improvement, get rich, escape the matrix kind of thing. And, I agree with the fact that, you will probably never get rich working for someone else. Like having like your own kind of business is it's very good. Like for financial freedom, it's very good. But I also don't agree with the people that say that like, oh, screw college is a waste of time or whatever. And again, I do agree. Most people that go to college, it is a waste of time. Getting like worthless degrees. But there are people like who get like medical degrees, like or law degrees. They're proper degrees you can get, and you can get like rich like within those. And I think the thing that really made me like see it this way was when I was listening to Patrick Bet-David, and he was saying about how they're entrepreneurs and then they're intrapreneurs. And then the example he used was Warren Buffett made like $500 million or whatever it was off of like dividends payments from Coca-Cola. The CEO got paid $50 million. And I was looking at it and I was like, $50 million is still a crap ton of money, right? That's more money than most people will ever make. And he's made that in a year, right? So there's plenty of ways to skin a cat. It's not as simple as like, starting a business is the only way to do it. Like, screw college is a waste of time, whatever it is. I don't agree with that, but we can get into that at a different time if I ever feel the need to do it. But I want to go back to speaking about escaping the matrix, right? Getting rich, buying all these supercars and everything is not really escaping the matrix, right? You're just at a really high place within the matrix because you're still a slave to money, right? You're still like, again, you're less of a slave because you've got tons of money to get whatever you want, but you're still a slave to money, right? You still need like the money to get materialistic things in your life, right? And that is textbook being in the matrix. You're still in the matrix. You're just at a higher position within the matrix. Truly escaping the matrix is what Jesus spoke about in the Bible, right? It's not being of this world, right? Not wanting all these materialistic things. That's how you truly escape the matrix, right? I remember watching this video by Young Don. He has like a reaction channel, but he's like a Christian guy, and he was reacting to a video of this guy who has all this farmland, right? And he doesn't pay phone bills or Wi-Fi bills. Like, he doesn't have any of that crap, right? Like he lives on his farm. He wakes up, he like tends his land, and does whatever, and he just chills and like he plays around or whatever, like a little kid. Like he's loving life. Like that's truly escaping the matrix. Truly escaping the matrix is not being a slave to like materialistic things, right? It's like, oh, I need to make this amount of money before I can like be happy. You're in the matrix, bro. I'm sorry to say to you. Truly escaping the matrix is not needing like the things of this world, right? It's not being held to the materialistic things of this world. Now, how do you truly escape the matrix, right? I would say the first thing any person on this planet needs to ask themselves if they want to be happy is, when I'm on my deathbed, right, after a long life that I've lived, what type of life am I going to look back on that will make me say, I am glad with the way I lived life? Like, if I got a chance to live life, I would live like that again, right? I can tell you for a fact, they have done studies, they've questioned people on deathbeds, and I think it might have been the number one thing, definitely top 3, was I wish I didn't work so much. I think it was the number one thing. It was like, I wish I didn't work so much, right? And it's like, when you're on your deathbed, when everything is laid to rest, right? It's you alone with your regrets. It's a Drake lyric, honestly. But yeah, when everything is laid to rest and it's you alone with your regrets, right? It's when you look back, it doesn't matter. This materialistic crap really doesn't matter. Now, I understand the need of wanting, like the need of having money. Like, you can't just escaping the matrix. Like, it's very difficult because the whole world is the matrix. You still need money to live. We're not living in an age where you go hunt your own food or whatever it is, right? But what I'm saying is, escaping the matrix isn't exactly, ascending up, the materialistic ladder, like, oh, I'm rich, so I've escaped the matrix. You have a lot of financial freedom for sure, right? But you're still in the matrix, right? Truly escaping the matrix is, okay, ask yourself, when I'm on my deathbed and I look back, what kind of life would I have liked to have lived, right? What kind of life would I look back and smile, be like, I'm happy the way I did it, right? For the majority of my life, I'm happy the way I lived it, and I wouldn't live it any different way. Okay, what would the things be? And for most people, like, it's something, like, we're humans, we're social creatures, something social's got to be there, right? Most people, family, friends, and then things like that. So you look back and you're like, okay, there's that, and then there's the things you like doing. Like for me, like I love football, I love tennis, like whatever. Like if I can get to play that a lot more, that would be incredible, right? So you start from there, and then you're like, okay, now you're on the right track, because all of a sudden, you again, you can't go wrong with saying, oh, when I'm on my deathbed and I look back, what's a life well lived, and then you try your best to aim at that, right? That's a good starting point. You can't go wrong with that. Once you have that, you got to figure yourself like, okay. Another thing I found when I was listening to Chris Williamson's podcast, he had Ali Abdal on it, and they were like, because they were speaking about all of this, about like working on like productivity versus like actually enjoying your life, right? And it's like, draw out your ideal week. What would your ideal week, if money wasn't an object and you could do whatever it is that you wanted, right, with your time, and everything was perfect? Like, what would you do? What would you do with your time, right? And you draw up the ideal week, and you'll realize a lot of the things there, you don't need to wait until you're financially free to do them. Like, you can do them now. You can do some semblance of those, right? Now, obviously, there's some things you can't do, right? Because obviously, you still need to get to a point where you don't need to work for money or whatever it is, right? But there's certain things you can do. Like for me, when I think about like my ideal week, it's like, oh, I'd be cycling, right? And it's like, okay, I need like save up for a bike, whatever it is. But once I can do that this year, and then I can make that a week, something I do a couple of days a week. Then it's like playing football. It's like I can do that every week. If I can find like friends to play with or whatever it is, like I can do that, right? Same thing with tennis, like just things like that. They're things you like doing that you can just insert into your life, right? And then we can go on to the other side, right? Which is, like I said, you can't hide from the elephant in the room. You still need money to live, right? So you figure out like, what's the type of job you like doing, right? If you find something you really like doing, right? Which I don't know if most people do find that, but if you can find a job you really like doing, right? Jackpot, right? Because like I said, escaping the matrix is not money. What it is you enjoy. Like every day you wake up, you look forward to the day, right? Like you look forward to what you do, and when you lay your head to rest at the end of every day, you're happy with the way your day went, right? Like you feel good about yourself. You feel like, oh, I've made like decent progress. I'm loving the way my life is. Right, like that's escaping the matrix, right? So having a good job, like you spend most of your life working, like even people who do businesses, and this is one of my gripe with like a lot of the escape the matrix people, is like the people who hate on college. A lot of those people are just lazy, right? And I can tell you those people will never escape the matrix, right? If your reason for saying I don't want to go to college is, I want to start a business, a laptop business, work 2 hours a week and make $10,000 a month, it's like, you're never going to escape the matrix, bro, because the reason you're not going to college is because you're lazy, right? Now, the people who, okay, I say I don't want to go to college because my path is down this way, I want to start this business, I'm going to work my butt off, I'm going to work my backside off for this, right? Those people are they're going to do really well. But a lot of the people, they're just lazy. That's where my gripe with them is. Like, they're just lazy. They don't want to like study or whatever it is. So they say, oh, I can do a business because it seems easier, even though businesses are way harder to start. That's why the people who become successful at them live way better lives than the average employee. But like I said, plenty of ways to skin a cat, right? You can get rich being an entrepreneur. You can get rich being an entrepreneur, but obviously you need to be smart about it. Like I said, you're not going to get rich working for someone else. But if you can figure out a way to like leverage connections and get like stakes in companies, whatever it is, you can also get rich that way. Like, there are plenty of ways to skin a cat. But I'm getting sidetracked now. Going back to what I was saying, you need to find a job you love. Like, whatever it is you're doing, you need to love it, right? Because that's the number one thing that makes you like actually get far, right? The whole thing of like the person who enjoys walking will walk a lot farther than the person who is walking for a different purpose, right? Like, if you enjoy what you're doing, you actually get really good at it because you just like doing it, and you do more and more of it, and you get really good at it, you get proficient at it, and you couple that with like just being smart and whatever, you can make tons of money from that. But the main thing that I'm saying is that deathbed thing, right? If you have a job you loved and you enjoy waking up every day to go and do it, when you're on your deathbed, you're gonna love it, because most people spend most of their lives working. That's what you do, right? So you gotta enjoy it. But like I said, that's if you're lucky, right? And if you're on the other side where your job you don't really enjoy it, it's like a means to an end kind of thing, you need to find a way to make it like as enjoyable as possible. That's what they're saying on the podcast. They were saying that like okay, you can put like metrics to it. You can like make it like a video game kind of thing, right? You can be like, oh, I need to do this and that to like level up and whatever. Like you can find ways, like you can find your own ways to make it enjoyable. Like there are many ways you can do that. The number one way, like as I've said before, like when Ali Abdal was speaking about how when he was studying through med school, the one thing that made him so excited, or that got him through, was basically, well, it didn't just get him through. He finished first at Cambridge. So he didn't just get through. Don't get it wrong. We get it twisted. He was top of the range, right? The one thing that got him there was that he studied with his friends, right? So they'd sit down and they would do like Pomodoro technique or whatever, but mainly like they were sitting down, studying completely different things, but just being in each other's company made things so much more enjoyable. That got him through. That's a good way. Like if you're working at like a specific job, having like, if you can have like a good social life there, you have good friends there. Oh my goodness, it's so fun. Like I want you to think back to like school, right? School's fun when your friends are there, right? Yeah, okay, the work you're doing isn't very fun, but you know, on the breaks or whatever, you're speaking with your friends. That's fun. That's really fun. You couple that with like some sort of discipline, it can become very bearable. And you add in a third factor, which is, you know, you're planning for your life, right? Like you have a long-term plan on how either you're going to progress through your career and you're going to become an entrepreneur, like a high-level entrepreneur, or you're like investing on the side or whatever it is, and you're eventually going to like branch off into like a different business or whatever it is. You couple that, you'll get far. You'll get far. You'll enjoy it, and you'll get to a point where you do enjoy your life. But you want to curate your life to make sure your life is enjoyable, right? And I don't mean enjoyable like, oh, fun, right? Okay, now we're just getting into semantics in terms of words. What I mean is, I don't mean like immediate gratification, like, oh, you know, people who smoke coke, you know, I think their lives aren't enjoyable. It's not smoking coke. I don't know what you sniff coke. People who sniff coke, do drugs, whatever it is, and like indulge themselves in like McDonald's, all that crap, they don't actually enjoy their lives. Like they enjoy like when they're eating it or when they're doing the drugs, but then afterwards they're not enjoying their life. When they wake up the next day, then they're not enjoying it. What I mean by enjoy is that, like, again, deathbed, you look back, that's a life well lived. That's escaping the matrix, right? Having a life you love, building a life you love. And I can tell you, when it comes to money, I know certainly for me, and I think they've shown it for a lot of people, once you get to a certain point, money doesn't make you happier, because once you've got like all the like necessities in your life, it doesn't really make you happier. So like all the materialistic things don't really matter. Obviously, if you want to be like financially free, like there's still like a mark, you know, it's like 10-20 million dollars. You know, if you can have something like that, you don't ever need to work for the rest of your life. That'd be pretty nice. But like I said, if you can find like a job you enjoy and your social life is incredible, you've got like a wonderful family, and you've got like some sort of freedom, and like I said, if you enjoy your job, you do all of that, you can curate a life for yourself that you love, and you'll be much happier than you could ever be, you know, being like a millionaire or whatever it is. And this isn't me like being against millionaires. Like I think we all still kind of want to be like millionaires in some aspect. But what I'm saying is that that's not escaping the matrix. It's a part of it. It can help you get more freedom, but escaping the matrix is living a life that when you're on your deathbed, you can truly look back and be like, that's a life well lived. But yeah, that's all for the video, guys. Make sure you subscribe to join the Self-Improvement Brotherhood. And until next time, see you boys.